Uber, Bitcoin, self-driving cars. Combine those three together, and you have the self-owning taxi. A car that is a corporation that owns itself, pays for the car lease, the car insurance, and the gasoline from the revenues it makes, giving passengers a ride, and there's not a single human involved in that matter.
Bitcoin, we've seen a big rally, markets generally higher. What's been driving that action?
Yeah, well, I mean, just zooming out, we've seen crypto go through many different cycles over the last 10 years. There's probably been 4 of these cycles where there's irrational exuberance and despair. And so we always just try to zoom out and not get too attached to short-term price fluctuations. But I think you're right. Bitcoin's up 71% year to date. We may have seen the bottom. We may not. We'll have to see. And I think one of the big things driving that is probably, the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank has caused a renewed interest in people saying, hey, what are the alternatives out there? Maybe there's a financial system that's not so connected to the traditional banking system, that's more fair and free and global. And of course, that's cryptocurrency.
I've been pretty critical of the SEC and others as well in terms of their regulatory approach. What does that mean for Coinbase's business in terms of, are you looking at other jurisdictions to set up shop in terms of headquarters, relocation, anything of that sort?
Yeah. Well, we're a business with like any business, we have a budget and we have to decide where to allocate it. And so that means what products we want to build, but it also means what countries we want to invest in any given year. And with the U.S. kind of lagging a little bit, having this regulation by enforcement approach that's really, instead of just creating a clear rule book so that everybody has to play on a level playing field, we are looking at other markets. I think the UK is actually a very good one for us. It's our, it's the first country we went into outside of the U.S. It's our second highest revenue country. And the UK, we've seen really great leadership from everyone from the PM, the city minister, kind of talking about how they want crypto to be based here in the UK. They want it to be a Web3 hub. That's really attractive for us. And so we have an office here. We have a presence. I think we're probably going to invest more.
Let's talk about the SEC a little bit. They issued you a Wells notice not too long ago. Have you got more clarity on precisely what the SEC is worried about right now?
Unfortunately, no. We've met with them over 30 times in the last year. And then, of course, they allowed us to go public as an S1. we filed and had many in-depth conversations with them about our business. But even over the last year, we had 30 meetings. Never got a single piece of feedback from them about what we could be doing better or differently. And then this Wells notice arrived. And so it's really unfortunate. I think we're going to have to actually end up going to court to get the clarity we need and create that case law. It's an abdication of responsibility. I mean, the regulator's job is to publish a clear rule book and allow that market to be safe, but also to flourish in that country. And I think they've completely abdicated responsibility.
Investors are worried that this could turn out to be a years-long battle. We've seen with Ripple, for example, and the SEC, this has been going on for some time. Are you prepared for a battle with the SEC of this kind of length?
Absolutely. I mean, we never seek litigation, but it seems in this case that they have initiated it. And if we need to get to the courts to get the clarity that we need, then we're very prepared to do that. I think the law is on our side, and the SEC has to follow rule of law. I think their actions would not be sympathetic to a jury. And so we're very prepared for this. We're going to court to win, just to be clear. I think we have a very strong case, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
The degree to which various government agencies had effectively had full access to everything that was going on Twitter blew my mind. I was not aware of that.
Would that include people's DMs?
Yes. Yes, because the DMs are not encrypted. So one of the things that we're about to release is the ability to encrypt your DMs.
That's pretty heavy duty, though, because a lot of well-known people, reporters talking to their sources, government officials, the richest people in the world, they're DMing each other. And the assumption, obviously, it was incorrect, but was that that's private, but that was being read by various governments?
Yeah, that seems to be, yes.
It's scary.
Yes, it is.
From various governments about doing this?
I haven't had direct complaints to me. I've had sort of like some indirect complaints. I think people are a little concerned about complaining to me directly in case I tweet about it. They're like, uh-oh. So they're sort of trying to be more roundabout than that. I mean, if I got something that was unconstitutional from the U.S. government, I would say my reply would be to send them a copy of the First Amendment and just say, like, what part of this are we getting wrong?
You have a lot of government contracts.
What part of this are we getting wrong? Please tell me.
I mean, I'm just saying, but you're kind of exposed in your other businesses. So this is, just in case our viewers aren't following this, you're not just like a journalist taking a stand on behalf of the First Amendment. You're a guy with big government contracts giving the finger to the government. Do you think Twitter will be as central to this presidential campaign as it was in the last several?
I think it will play a significant role in elections, not just domestically, but internationally. The goal of New Twitter is to be as fair and even-handed as possible, so not favoring any political ideology, but
roughly explain what you think the dangers might be.
Yeah, so the danger, really, AI is perhaps more dangerous than, say, mismanaged aircraft design or production maintenance or bad car production, in the sense that it has the potential, however small one may regard that probability, but it is non-trivial. It has the potential of civilizational destruction. There's movies like Terminator, but it wouldn't quite happen like Terminator, because the intelligence would be in the data centers.
Right.
The robot's just the end effector. But I think perhaps what you may be alluding to here is that regulations are really only put into effect after something terrible has happened.
That's correct.
If that's the case for AI, and we only put in regulations after something terrible has happened, it may be too late to actually put the regulations in place. The AI may be in control at that point.
You think that's real? It is conceivable that AI could take control and reach a point where you couldn't turn it off, and it would be making the decisions for people.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's definitely where things are headed, for sure. I mean, the things like say ChatGPT, which is based on GPT-4 from OpenAI, which is a company that I played a critical role in creating, unfortunately.
Back when it was a nonprofit.
Yes. I mean, the reason OpenAI exists at all is that Larry Page and I used to be close friends, and I would stay at his house in Palo Alto, and I would talk to him late into the night about AI safety. And at least my perception was that Larry was not taking AI safety seriously enough.
What did he say about it?
He really seemed to be one sort of digital superintelligence, basically digital God, if you will.
By the way, do you use AI here at the
We do, actually. So we've been working hard over the last decade, in fact, to really make sure that we modernize our technology stack, that we bring more of our technology into the cloud, that we turn our services more into SaaS services. And all of that investment we've been making, including our markets, by the way, we've been modernizing our markets to bring them into the cloud. We had our first options market go into the cloud at the end of last year. We're our second coming the end of this year. That the fact that we have that capability and that underpinning in our infrastructure allows us to take advantage of AI. And we do use AI in our anti-financial crime solutions. It's a core part of those solutions. That is why
to figure out criminal activity.
We are looking at
patterns.
and trying to root out criminal behavior within the broader financial system, the banks, as well as in the markets. And as a result of that, I think our solutions truly are the best in the world because of the use of AI embedded in those solutions. Well, I think that the way to look at it is AI is a tool, and it can be used for good purposes, and it can be used for bad purposes.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And guys, we had Brian Armstrong says that we might have hit a bottom and then tries to clear it up. But guys, in my Patreon, I told you the solar eclipse was coming, and we know how the NWO does it. But we have Brian Armstrong says that Coinbase may look to go to another country. And you're talking about a publicly traded company. And when we hear more about lawsuits, guys, we know it's nothing but a movie to stall what they're trying to do. And that's build a fourth industrial revolution. Getting us over to the digital transformation. We know they're stalling America on purpose, so the fourth industrial revolution can rise. And we know the robots, algorithms, and drones are going to control the fourth industrial revolution. And we have Elon Musk on AI. Says that the government was reading your Twitter DMs. And guys, we know the government funds Elon. That's the reason why Elon can play both sides. And Elon Musk talks about Singularity Net. And who talked about Singularity Net in their book? That's right, the Cryptoteacher. Do not forget the NWO book. And Elon says the AI can take over. And guys, if you don't know, only thing I have to do is watch the movie Eagle Eye. I forgot the main character's name, but guys, he disappeared for a while. He was in Transformers also. And Elon said he had his hands in OpenAI. Now, guys, it's funny how all these Silicon Valley guys are like best friends, and they're all working on the agenda. Says that Larry Page wanted to build a digital god. And guys, we know blockchain gives the NWO what? That's right, they're all seeing eye. Remember, guys, this is spiritual warfare. And then, guys, we have NASDAQ says they've been using AI. But we know all these big corporations have been using AI, and the masses don't know because it is embedded. But what does she say? AI can be used for good or evil. Who always says that? That's right, the Cryptoteacher.
We've heard that there's something coming out today, a plan coming out today. Speaker McCarthy is engaging in dangerous economic hostage taking. You heard directly from the president. He was very clear about this yesterday in the Rose Garden, and that is threatening, as we all know, hardworking Americans' jobs and retirement savings, and in his plan. And so it is clear that extreme House Republicans, the MAGA House Republicans, what they want to do, they've been very clear about this. They have told us over and over again they want to increase costs for hardworking families, take food assistance and health care away from millions of Americans, and increase the debt when combined with House Republicans' proposal for tax giveaways skewed for the super rich, special interests, and profitable companies. And that seems to be their priority. That is what they've put forth. And the president was very clear yesterday. He's like, what are they doing? What is the MAGA Republicans doing? Why would this speaker, like no other speaker has done this before, threaten default? Why would he do this? And so again, we've heard that this is coming out today, but we've been very clear about how we see what MAGA Republicans have been doing these past couple of months.
It looks like tax collections may be down. That means that the date in which the Treasury runs out of money could be earlier than expected, according to some analysts. Do you have any guidance for us on how quickly that could happen?
So that is something, as you know, the Secretary of Treasury has spoken to. So I would refer to the U.S. Treasury on any comments on deadlines that relates to this. I'm just not going to comment from here.
One more on the dollar. So yesterday, Jared Bernstein, during his confirmation hearing, said there was some evidence that China wanted to see the dollar displaced or dislodged as the world's reserve currency. Had some comments from Brazil in recent days about the dollar and Chinese currency instead. I mean, how concerned are you that debt ceiling default or a U.S. default could lead to trouble?
So what I can say is that we're always monitoring development in the space and ensure we maintain the centrality of the dollar in global financial markets and in the global economy as well. What I will say is the primary focus of the U.S. Or the primary of the U.S. dollar is underpinned by fundamental advantages that the United States has held for a long time and will continue to hold. That includes credible and long-standing commitments to transparency and sound governance, our rule of law, the most liquid financial markets in the world, and the independence of the Federal Reserve System as well.
Ceiling, as was mentioned, House Speaker McCarthy is preparing to unveil this plan, he's hoping by the end of today. And one of the proposals is that it would be raising it by $1.5 trillion or suspending it until May 31st. Taking aside any spending cuts that they want to include, with the White House support doing a short-term extension for a year.
I'm not going to get into the mechanics. What we have been very clear about this is that there should be no negotiation. This should be done without conditions. We've been very, very clear these past several weeks, several months, on how we view the debt ceiling and what should be done. It should be done, again, without conditions. This is something that both Republicans and Democrats came together in the last administration and did it 3 times. And when you have a speaker that is threatening threatening to default. No other speaker has done that before. And so again, they need to do this. There should be no negotiations. They need to do this. Again because it is a constitutional responsibility that they have in Congress. Go ahead.
Yeah, following up on the meeting that you announced.
And then the other piece of it, we've had lots of conversations with you about crypto. Where does crypto, you think, live right now in the mind of the retail investing community?
Well, crypto activity on our platform is very, very slow. So it really
is. That because your platform doesn't cater specifically to the crypto community in the same way that maybe some of the others do, or do you think it's just reflective of something else?
That's a good question. So the fact is that we do not custody crypto. We custody our customers' crypto with Paxos. So maybe that is one of the reasons. But I think generally crypto trading is much reduced from where it used to be a year or two ago.
And is that just because of what's happened to the price, though? Frankly, you look back, and I don't know if you have an explanation for it. We're looking at Bitcoin right now, still closing back in on $30,000.
Well, I really don't have a view on that.
You don't have a view on the price of crypto, of why it?
No, not at all. I as far as I'm concerned, it's worth nothing. But I own some, even though I believe it's worth nothing, because other people believe that it's worth something. So
you believe it's worth nothing, but you own some because you think other people believe it's worth something.
Exactly.
Is that how do you think about that as an investing strategy? Are there other things you own like that?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, stock market is going up, even though I believe it should be much lower, right? So yes, I would not say that people should not own stocks because it's going up, even though I think it should be lower.
Okay, so let's just key in on that for a second, because I did want to talk to you about sort of where you think the market should be. You're saying you think the market should be lower.
Much lower, yes.
Much lower. So we're talking about the Dow, the S&P, everything?
I think the market should be about 20% lower. I think that, earnings, by the time the interest rate works its way through the economy, the high interest rate earnings will be about, on the S&Ps will be about 200, and 15 times earnings should be about 3,000.
And guys, we have this debt ceiling heating up. And you guys know, been with me for a long time, I tell you what's going to happen in advance. I told you at the beginning of last year, the debt ceiling was going to be a major issue. And we have McCarthy puts out a plan, and it's all about cutting spending. Remember, guys, that the U.S. dollar is going to be losing power globally. We have to make cuts. And remember, guys, this is all for the fourth industrial revolution. And we have the White House press secretary playing the Hegelian dialectic. And we clearly see her reading off a script. It's all rehearsed. And what does she say? MAGA Republicans. And guys, we know the NWO always wins because they know how to divide and conquer. And the question comes up with China taking the place of the United States US dollar. And guys, we know that is definitely the plan. The only thing you have to do is look at the Belt and Road. It's going to be the rise of the emerging markets led by China and the digital yuan, backed by that digital SDR, and the fall of America to Babylon along with the United States world reserve currency. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And then, guys, we have Interactive Brokers founder Thomas Peterfy gives us half the truth. But he definitely gave us some of the truth. That this market definitely should be down. Cryptos and stocks. But we know the Fed needs that big distraction in order to pull the rug so they can run the money in the back door so they can build the fourth industrial revolution. Whether robots, algorithms, and drones take the economy over, pay each other with crypto, and the sheep go inside the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you because he knows when it comes to the New World Order, It's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
It's Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.